Proto-Balto-Slavic is a reconstructed proto-language descending from Proto-Indo-European. From Proto-Balto-Slavic, the later Balto-Slavic languages are thought to have developed, composed of sub-branches Baltic and Slavic, and including modern Latvian, Lithuanian, Polish, Ukrainian, Russian, and Serbo-Croatian among others. Like most other proto-languages, it is not attested by any surviving texts but has been reconstructed using the comparative method. There are several isoglosses that Baltic and Slavic languages share in phonology, morphology and accentology, which represent common innovation from Proto-Indo-European times and can be chronologically arranged. Phonology consonants. Proto-Indo-European voiced aspirated stops lost their aspiration in Proto-Balto-Slavic. Stops were no longer distinguished between fortis and aspirated but were voiceless and voiced. However, several new palatal consonants had developed. *S and *Z from earlier palate-developed plosives and *S from *S as a result of the Rookie sound law, surfaced as an allophone of per second, before a voiced consonant in Proto-Balto-Slavic. Vowels. Proto-Balto-Slavic preserved much of the late Proto-Indo-European vowel system. One noticeable difference between the two was the merging of earlier short o and a into a. Earlier syllabic sonants in pi had been converted into liquid diphthongs by inserting *I or *Q before the sonant in Proto-Balto-Slavic. Diphthongs. Proto-Balto-Slavic preserved most bi-diphthongs intact except for the short o and a merger. The merger of short o and a carried into the production of Proto-Balto-Slavic diphthongs. The diphthongs that contained the onglide o in pi consequently became diphthongs with the onglide a in Proto-Balto-Slavic. Proto-Balto-Slavic also possessed sequences of a close vowel, followed by *L*, *R*, *M* or *N*, the sonant diphthongs. Their accents behaved like the other diphthongs rather than like vowel consonant sequences. Accent and the acute register. The accent of Balto-Slavic and its descendants is still a topic of active research, and there is still disagreement over the developments in many cases. The following gives only a general overview of the points for which a general consensus has been reached among linguists. Differing opinions are noted when necessary. Most Proto-Balto-Slavic words could be accented on any syllable, like in Proto-Indo-European. The placement of the accent was changed significantly relative to pi, with much paradigmatic leveling of the mobile pi accent, along with leftward and rightward shifts conditioned by the surrounding phonemes. In the early Balto-Slavic period, an additional articulatory feature, the acute register, had developed on certain syllables, particularly those that ended in a pi laryngeal consonant. It was a suprasegmental feature whose exact phonetic nature is not quite clear. It likely involved glottalization at some stage, as a similar articulatory feature is found in the Latvian broken tone, which is a reflex of it. It is denoted variously with a superscript glottalization symbol, a glottal stop symbol, or simply as the laryngeal cover symbol H. Only the presence or absence of the feature, called acute and circumflex respectively, was phonemic. Furthermore, the distinction applied only to accented or unaccented long syllables. The following syllable types were long, and thus could have this distinction: syllables with long vowels. They could be original bi-long vowels of vowels that were lengthened by a following laryngeal. Syllables with vocalic diphthongs. Syllables with sonant diphthongs, which consisted of a vowel, followed by *L*, *R*, *M* or *N*. Thus, any syllable was either long with acute register, long with circumflex register, or short. Alternations. Proto-Balto-Slavic retained the system of ablaut from its parent language, but it was far less productive and had been significantly reworked. Vowel alternations were often leveled, but it is not always easy to determine how far this leveling had progressed by the time the Balto-Slavic dialects began to diverge, as the leveling progressed along the same lines in all of them to some degree. The length and grade remained productive in word derivation and was used in many innovative formations that were not present in Proto-Indo-European. After the merger of *O and *A, the resulting phoneme *A could lengthen to both *A and *O. Pre-Proto-Slavic retained many such uses of length and grades in morphology. The length distinctions are reflected as vowel quality distinctions in late Common Slavic and the later Slavic languages. Early Slavic *Slava, fame, glory, and gt, LCS *Slava versus early Slavic *Slava, word, and gt, LCS *Slavo. Early Slavic *Twari, substance, and gt, LCS *Tvar versus early Slavic *Twari, to form, create, and gt, *Livreti. These are similar examples in Lithuanian protos, intellect, mind, versus prasti, to understand. Lithuanian geris, goodness, versus geris, good. On the basis of the existing length alternations inherited from Proto-Indo-European, new alternations arose between the long *I*, *U* and the short *I*. This latter type of apophony was not productive in pi. Compare Lithuanian musis, battle, versus musti, to kill, hit. Lithuanian likes, remainder, versus likti, to stay, keep. The new type of apophonic length was especially used in pre-Proto-Slavic in the formation of durative, iterative, and imperfective verbs. Compare early Slavic *Drate and gt, LCS *Drati versus early Slavic *Arz and gt, LCS *Ortsdarati. Early Slavic *Barate, to pick, and gt, LCS Birati versus early Slavic *Birate, to choose, and gt, LCS *Barati. Certain pairs of words show a change of older initial *ka*, *ko*, *he*, to *ki*, which is sometimes called Rozwadowski's rule. The exact conditioning of this change is currently not well understood, but led to alternations between *and *k in related words or even as alternative forms of the same word. The alternations often gave rise to different initial vowels in different languages. Several words retained the alternation into Proto-Slavic times as well, which became an alternation between *ki and *ko. Proto-Balto-Slavic *Kalawa, *Kalawa, and gt, Middle Bulgarian Ekutelav, Polish Olo, Russian Olivo, Old Prussian Elwes. Proto-Balto-Slavic *Kizero, *Izero, and gt, Serbo-Croatian Jezero, Polish Jeziero, Russian Ozero, Old Prussian Asaran, Latvian Izes, Lithuanian Izeras, Latgalian Azaz. Morphology. Proto-Balto-Slavic retained many of the grammatical features present in Proto-Indo-European. Nominals. Proto-Balto-Slavic made use of 7 cases: nominative, subject, accusative, direct object, genitive, possession, relation or association, direct object of negated verb, locative, stationary location, dative, indirect object, instrumental, tool, means by which accompanying, vocative, direct address. The 8th case, the ablative, had merged with the genitive case. Some of the inflectional endings for the genitive were replaced with those of the former ablative. An innovation within Balto-Slavic was the use of the genitive in place of the accusative for the direct object of a negative verb. That feature is still present in its descendants. I have read the book. Russian Saitel Nigu, Slovene Sembral Nigo, Lithuanian Knygskaki. I have not read the book. Russian Untitled, Slovene Nisam Bralnish, Lithuanian Negos Neskiki. Proto-Balto-Slavic still distinguished three numbers: singular, dual and plural. The dual was retained into the early Slavic languages, but most modern Slavic languages have lost it. Slovene, Charkavian, and Sorbian are the only remaining Slavic languages that still make consistent use of the dual number. In most other Slavic languages, the dual number is not retained except for historically paired nouns, certain fixed expressions, and agreement of nouns when used with numbers. It is synchronically often analyzed as genitive singular because of the resemblance in forms. The Baltic languages also used to have a dual number system, but it has become practically obsolete in modern Latvian and Lithuanian. Proto-Balto-Slavic nouns could also have one of three genders: masculine, feminine and neuter. Many originally neuter nouns in Pi had become masculine in Balto-Slavic, so the group was somewhat reduced relative to the others. The modern Slavic languages largely continue the use of three grammatical genders, but modern Baltic languages primarily use only two: masculine and feminine. Latvian distinguishes between only two genders, masculine and feminine. Lithuanian distinguishes between only masculine and feminine in nouns, but in pronouns, participles and numerals, the neuter is retained. An innovation within Balto-Slavic was the creation of a distinct, definite inflection of adjectives by affixing forms of the pronoun *ya to existing adjective forms. The inflection had a function resembling that of the definite article the in English. Lithuanian Geresis, Old Church Slavonic, the good versus Geras, good. The distinction is no longer productive in most Slavic languages today, and most Slavic languages preserve a mixture of definite forms and indefinite forms in a single paradigm. Russian, Czech and Polish, for example, use the original definite nominative singular forms, Polish y, a, e, Czech y, a, e acute. Czech and Polish have lost the indefinite forms except in a few limited uses, while Russian preserves the indefinite nominative forms as the so-called short forms, used in some cases in predicate position. Serbo-Croatian and Slovene still distinguish the two types, but only in the masculine nominative singular. Bulgarian and Macedonian have innovated completely new forms, affixing forms of the demonstrative pronoun *t instead. Verbs. The distinction between athematic and thematic verbs was preserved, but athematic verbs were gradually reduced in number. The primary first-person singular endings, athematic *me and thematic *o, were kept distinct, giving Balto-Slavic *me and *o respectively. The thematic ending was occasionally extended by adding the athematic ending to it, apparently in Balto-Slavic times, resulting in a third ending. *me and gt, *m and gt, *am, replacing the original ending in Slavic, reflected as *o, Polish e, Bulgarian a. In many Slavic languages, particularly South and West Slavic, the athematic ending was analogically extended to other verbs and even replaced the thematic ending completely in some languages. In the Baltic languages, only the thematic ending was retained, as Lithuanian u and Latvian u. In Latvian, the first-person singular form of but to be is esmu, which preserves the original *m of the athematic ending, but it was extended with the thematic ending. Balto-Slavic replaced the pi second-person singular ending *c with *sefi and gt, *sei, for which the origin is not fully understood. According to Cortland, the ending is a combination of the ending *c with *ch, which he considers to be the original thematic ending. The new ending *sei carried over into all three branches of Balto-Slavic and came to be used in all all athematic root verbs in Baltic. In Old Church Slavonic, it completely ousted the older ending. In the other Slavic languages, the original ending generally survives except in the athematic verbs. The aspectual distinction between present and aorist was retained and still productive in Proto-Balto-Slavic. It was preserved into early Slavic but was gradually replaced with an innovated aspectual distinction with a variety of forms. Modern Bulgarian retained the aorist, however, alongside the innovated system, producing a four-way contrast. The Indo-European perfect stative was falling out of use in Proto-Balto-Slavic and was likely already reduced to relics by Proto-Balto-Slavic times. It survives in Slavic only in the irregular Old Church Slavonic from Vid, which preserves an irregular first-person singular ending, presumed to originate in the perfect.